Get Heavy Podcast, hosted by Craig Casamas and John Scheimer.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. We got a cool episode for you tonight. We got my buddy Bobby Wilcox, bass player extraordinaire. He's been in a million bands. He's from Ventura. Currently lives in Oakland with his wife and daughter. He plays bass for He Who Cannot Be Named, the mysterious guitar player for the Dwarves. He's been playing in that for a long time. Does a lot of really cool shit. He is probably the Lord shit poster on Facebook. I love everything he posts all the time. He's an absurdist. It was a really, really fun talk. And yeah, man. So enjoy that. Having said that, guys, check out the YouTube page. Like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. Let's get those subscribers up. We can start doing some cool shit with that. And then, as always, rate, review, follow, all that bullshit. Tell your friends, really, honestly. And check out the Patreon, patreon.com/GetHeavyPodcast. We got exclusive tour stories. These episodes are going to be coming up probably almost a week earlier than what's going to be dropping live. So I'm really starting to get ahead of myself now, and I can drop these episodes a lot earlier. So if you want to get them probably up to a week earlier, you'll be able to do that on the Patreon. $1 a month gets you in the door. I got the mask marked down to $5, so I want to get through the last bit of those. So you're going to go to GetHeavyPodcast.BigCartel.com and click all that shit. So having said all that, enjoy the episode. But anyway, man, welcome to the pod, and I'm stoked you finally are on. You got to fucking. I gotta say, of all the guests, your background is the best so far.
Oh yeah, Michael Myers.
Yeah, you got Michael Myers. You got toys. You got everything, man. It's fucking beautiful,
Yeah, childhood issues, whatever bad childhood you recreated as a 40-year-old with toys. Like, let's be real,
Right. Isn't that funny, man? You're like, I've changed my podcast setting 1,600 times so far, and now that it's just me, you know what I mean? Like, I really got to figure out where I want to do it. I got a spot at my work I could do it, but the internet's dog shit. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, man. So I got to figure out what I can do, because I'm going to start getting guests in studio, soon.
Ah,
you know
sure.
So I got to have a place where we can go and sit and not have my kids running the fucking door and all that. You know what I mean?
Didn't you have a spot at Fatty Vegan?
Yeah, well, yeah, when I was with John. So he's not going to be doing the podcast anymore.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I kind of made an announcement a couple of weeks ago. He's just, with obviously getting into the restaurant business, especially during COVID, it's taken up so much of his time, and and I just don't know how much he, is really, really in. He's obviously not as dedicated as I am. It's my deal. I want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
So he a couple of weeks ago, he's like, hey man, I'm just, and the possibility of being on tour again is coming up for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, now you're gone for 2-3 months, and I got to man the ship anyway. So it's all good, man. I'm stoked for him. I mean,
hell yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah, actually. Go ahead.
I said anyone that can figure out how to create a business right now and make money, fucking go, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, we were I'm trying to remember the exact reason why we went down south. It was some fuck it, let's just take a little road trip or whatever, and it was the second week they were open, and that was the first stop. We just stayed at a little hotel in Ventura, downtown. Kept it all low key. I didn't want to meet up with a bunch of motherfuckers and be awkward,
Yeah.
But we slid into Fatty Vegan and just
cool, man.
hugged him and Sean and just, dude, so much respect for that. And the food was delicious.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Great. Are you vegan or you're not vegan?
No.
Yeah, but I mean that's a cool thing. Sean's not a vegan. You know what I mean? So for me,
right.
It's you got a not vegan making vegan food. Shit tastes delicious, dude. And he's an incredible fucking chef.
Yeah.
He was the executive chef up at the ranch house in Ojai for a long time.
I know.
And dude, I mean, I fucking went up there. I had a pork chop that made me tear up, dude. I mean, I literally I didn't even cry when my kids were born, but I teared up, dude. Literally.
You're holding the pork chop.
I never loved so much in my entire life. It was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I got mad respect for Sean, man. I've always we were in that band together for a short time, and in that short time, we just bonded like
Yeah.
cut from the same cloth, for better or worse, you know. Sean and I
Yeah,
are very
there
similar,
is a wild Ventura desert connection, dude. You know what I mean? The
right?
Ventura AV connection is strong. It's really weird. It's like when I met John, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be totally friends. Like we are totally gonna be friends. Like I understand exactly where you're from. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
and I'm
Are
originally
you?
from there. You know, but
That's what I was gonna ask. Are you from Palmdale?
I was born way out in Trona, like Ridgecrest, way the fuck past that.
Wow.
But when I was
Yeah.
a kid, I lived in Roseman until I was about 10. And then we moved to Ventura. So I'm from Ventura, you know what I mean? But my
Same. I'm from
roots.
Porterville until I was 10. So
Damn, really?
I don't claim that shit. Yeah, I'm from
Yeah,
Ventura.
yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, how do you? My roots are there. I got family there and all that. But it's, I ended up moving back there for a couple of years. But it just fuck no, dude. I worked real hard to get back. You know what I mean? To Ventura. I
Yeah.
was like, there's no
Yeah.
way.
I've driven through Porterville, like, and driving down south and coming back up. I've like taken Lindsay, like, here's the house I grew up in, you know? And
Yeah.
the minute I enter Porterville, like, I have very few memories of it. I just look around and I'm like, fuck.
Did your whole family relocate to Ventura? How'd you grow
Yeah,
up
my,
with just your mom and dad, or no mom and dad? What's the deal?
yeah, mom
Give
and
me the
dad,
origin story. That's what I know.
born in Tulare, outside Porterville.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and dad, older sister. I was born a twin. My twin died at birth.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So there's the answer to your question, something people probably don't know
Yeah, yeah. There you go, man.
about.
Yeah.
And then just, yeah, regular ass childhood until no, actually I was 9. I was in 4th grade.
Mm.
And I don't even know why. My aunt and uncle lived on Pierpont. Um, I would come to Pierpont in the summertime because the
Mm-hmm.
summers in Porterville, as you know, are just
Rough.
fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally rough. Can't even ride your bike outside.
Yeah.
So I'd stay on Pierpont as a little kid, and then eventually we just made the move. I mean, I think my parents did it for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Um,
Why would if they had the opportunity? Why would you not? You know.
right.
Like,
So I moved out here. We have a small family. I mean, my grandparents were up in Oregon. Grandparents on my mom's side were already dead.
mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, my mom, dad, sister moved to Ventura, and that's it. I was there until what, 10 years ago? Moved up
Right.
here. Moved to Oakland.
And you're up in Oakland, right?
I'm north of Oakland now.
Okay.
Originally, I moved to Oakland. Now I'm up in Vallejo because of cost of living
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. Well, and then you're still living in Oakland. You know what I mean? So it's like if I'm gonna pay
It's
this
East
much,
Bay.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna pay this much, I'm gonna fucking be somewhere nice, dude. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, man. Is I like Oakland's got a rep for a good reason for
Mm-hmm.
part of the town.
Mm-hmm.
But like the area I was in, it was like Whole Foods was my grocery store, and I lived on a lake, and it was like
Oh.
super
Okay.
nice. I
Yeah.
lived like
Yeah.
on Lake Merritt in Adams
Oh.
Point.
Okay.
But like that was the thing when I had a kid and it was time to like get out of an apartment, get a house with a yard and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in this apartment with this bro deal. I was paying like $1,000 a month to live in this nice neighborhood on this lake. When I went into the actual housing market, I couldn't find a house without bars on the windows in Oakland for under 900,000.
Right. Yeah. You're like,
So,
oh,
and it
okay.
was like, I'm not moving out by the stadium. I'm not moving to the place where the reputation comes from.
Right.
I want to live in my nice little safe little pocket that I love so much, and I just couldn't do it.
And you
So
know what, man? When you have
out.
kids, when you start having kids and fucking, it's always like, oh, I'm gonna live in poverty till I die. I'm punk as fuck. And then you have a kid, and you're like, we got to get the fuck out of here, too. It's like
I need a yard. I need
Yeah.
like I need Target nearby. You
Right.
know, I need like
Yeah. If I'm feeling fancy, it's Target. You know what I mean?
it's
Yeah.
Target, right?
Yeah,
Right.
totally. So when you moved to Ventura, what got you into playing music? What got you into punk? Obviously, Ventura Oxnard, it's got the whole thing. Like, how did you start? Have you always been a
Yeah.
bass player?
Yeah. I mean, I think I got a guitar first, and when I was like 13, 12 or 13,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of punked around on it and didn't really like connect with it. Like I tried, but it just didn't really, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
It didn't hit. I never took lessons or anything, so I was just trying to like play along to stuff. And I read somewhere that someone learned how to play bass so at this point I was already into, my sister had older boyfriends. She's 3 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already like I bought Appetite for Destruction when I was 9, like when it came out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then went into like someone gave me a tape with Walk Among Us on one side and Ramones It's Alive on the other side,
Right.
and that's it. Like this is my shit, right? And then
Yeah.
from there, it's just like reading Thrasher as a kid, and like the mail order section, like the Sessions mail order and the old Thrashers was like how I
Right.
found out about bands.
Yeah.
Like looking at T-shirts and what is Pusshead like? That's what I like. You know what I mean? So
Right. Yeah.
I found Poison Idea and shit like that when I was like 14. Just through.
Were you aware of the Oxnard like scene, or did it like you're all wait a
No,
minute? Like, yeah, isn't it weird
no,
when you find
dude.
out you're like, oh shit, this town has like a crazy punk rock history, you know?
Yeah, because I had seen. I'm getting off track from your question, but like I had seen like aggression shit in Thrasher magazine. Like
Right.
in '89, '90, aggression was like all over Thrasher. And
Right.
I didn't find out they were from Oxnard playing shows when I was reading that magazine until like
Yeah.
high school. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've always liked music. Always liked. I mean, just like anyone probably listening, I always gravitated towards like aggressive, loud music. Um, I don't know, something about Misfits, Ramones, just the catchiness, but it's still like rough and kind of threatening. I'm super into.
Hmm.
And I had a great grandpa who, not actually related by blood, but he was 100 years old. So my dad called him my great grandpa. He was a friend of the family. He played bass like until the day he died. He was 100 and some
Oh,
jazz band.
really? Wow.
Yeah. So when he died, I inherited a
Dude, can you
62,
imagine playing bass for 100 years? Like,
even 80. You know what I
I mean,
mean? Even
that's
like whatever it
insane, dude.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit, man. You know?
So I inherited a 60. It's like painful to talk about. 62. It was like a 62 body with a 63 neck B bass,
Yeah.
and I ended up like, dude, in Conehair Kids, I played that bass and I had no idea what I was playing, and
Right.
I ended up like, I don't know. I remember the neck was gone for. I don't know what had happened to it. It ended up in pieces and just went away.
Oh
But
my god.
when I got that bass, I had read somewhere that somebody learned how to play bass by playing along to the first Ramones record by like turning down whatever speed one side because it's like guitars on the
Oh,
right, bass is on the
sure.
left.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you just like sweep it over to the other side and play along to it, and that's how I learned how to play bass, just
Really?
playing
You just
along.
sat down and tried to start figuring shit out, huh?
Because I was super in like seventh, eighth grade. I got super into Primus like randomly,
Mm-hmm.
just fucking loved him, and then I realized like, oh, he's playing bass. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I gave up trying to learn that shit within like an hour. I was like, okay, I'm
Right.
not gonna do this.
Yeah.
No. So I was like getting guitar magazines and trying to like taught myself how to read tablature, but it doesn't teach you timing if you're reading tablature. So I was
No.
like kind of understanding like sort of how like boxes on the neck work, and I
Hmm.
just took like the long way around, dude. Like I could have been way better, way faster if I would have taken lessons, but
I'm still taking the long way, dude. I don't know shit. You know, I feel like I
either,
don't know shit, dude. It's like it's
either.
ridiculous, honestly, man. Like and I'm just now like, I mean, I know things. Obviously, I can play, but I feel like when you meet guys that are like, I'm in a band with guys now. Bill Benson, fucking incredible musician, knows everything, knows every single note he's doing, knows what key we're in, knows fucking how to fucking harmonize it. And I'm like a caveman still. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know. I just hit a bunch of things and then it goes there. It's like,
He's like, well, we're in A, so C sharp would be every one of you. Like,
yeah,
like I
sure.
still do. I still
Yeah,
like. I mean, I know all the notes on the neck if I like look at it and go, that's this, this, this. But if we're just playing, like if I'm just trying to come up with a bass part because he who has like some riff or whatever,
hmm.
I still like am visual. Like I know
Oh yeah,
visual patterns. I know what they sound like, and I just kind of adjust them up and down the neck.
right.
Like
Yeah,
I know all the like punk rock like tricks. You know what I mean? Like the little
yeah, 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 man.
standard punk rock bass tricks that just
But
still
also,
apply to all.
that I always dealt with the fact that the guys that seem to, and this is obviously is a huge caveat, but the guys that are taught, you know what I mean, like schooled, fucking no theory, all these things. I find those guys have a really hard time writing music. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know if they're, obviously there's a million cases otherwise, but in my experience, the guy that fucking just plays through and plays by feeling and plays by, that's the guy that's coming up with riffs 90% of the time. You know what I mean? And I'm saying
Right.
with a huge caveat, you know, like, but in my experiences, the guys that are so technically sound are usually good at adding to, good at structure, these things, but they're oftentimes, they don't seem to be the guys with the riffs. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
or you know, it's just so weird, you know? So you almost, you
It's
need that
it's
balance, you know?
cliche. Yeah, it's cliche as fuck, but like you can't learn soul, you know? You can't learn
Yeah.
like feeling it.
Yeah.
No, and a testament to all that is like all the shit that like influenced us, like all the groundbreaking bands. I mean, Misfits, Ramones, we just talked about them. Those motherfuckers couldn't play. They still can't
Right. Well, and
hardly. You know what I mean?
they made it accessible for us. You
And
know,
that's the same
when you,
conversation that we always all have. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's
Yeah.
why we got into punk rock. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I started really like I was more into like metal
Yeah.
uh, than punk rock because that's just kind of how it like came to me. Like I
Right.
was listening to like Kill 'Em All and shit like before I listened to punk rock, and I was like, oh, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's just fast and messy. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, but it's, you know, when you sit down and you try to fucking figure out a Metallica solo, I mean, you got a solid 2 weeks, dude. You know what
I
I
still
mean? So
can't.
it's
I still
like,
can't.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
or if you got to sit down and figure out a Rose record, you're like, afternoon, we got it. And it feels fun. You know what I mean? It's great.
I can barely play Raining Blood. I can play
Right.
Raining Blood poorly. You know, and it's not hard. But
Yeah.
I just eh.
Yeah. My band wants to cover Wrathchild, like right now, of Iron Maiden. And it's
Uh-huh.
you know, it's an old fucking Iron Maiden song, and it's
Uh-huh.
not like,
Killers. Yep.
it's totally a great fucking song, right? And it's like, I can play the riffs, dude. But then they're like, oh yeah, we should cover it. I'm like, have you fucking heard the vocals, dude? There's a reason there's a singer. You know, like I said, I don't know that I can do this. You know, like it's like fucking
Yeah.
10 words a line while he's like diddly 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 diddly. You're like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like,
Dude, you want to hear
yeah.
some inspiration? Have you heard Zeke cover that?
No. I'd have to,
So
I'll have to listen to it.
there was a West. I mean, you know Zeke,
Yeah,
I'm
oh
sure,
yeah.
but
That band is
there's
great, dude.
one of my favorites, who Mount Rushmore for sure. Um, the Free the West Memphis 3 compilation from like the I don't know, dude, early 2000s,
Yeah, I remember that.
maybe
Wasn't
late
Henry
90s.
Rollins put that out, right? Didn't he? It was like a
Yeah,
big Rollins thing.
yeah, and I think I could be wrong. I think Zeke playing Rothschild is on that.
I'll have to check it out, dude. Yeah.
They dumb it down just enough. I mean, Marky can fucking rip, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
they dumb it down enough. You can tell it's like punks that like metal are covering it, and it's
Right.
just good enough, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing when Slayer did the punk album, you know what I mean? The covers album, and I was like,
Love that record.
I love it, dude. Like I was
It's
like,
so
oh
good.
shit, dude, this is, you know. But these guys, that was probably super fun for them because they're just dumb music for them. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
compared to a goddamn Slayer record, it's, you know, ridiculous. You know?
I know, right?
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. So you know, I remember you were always in bands here. You know what I mean? Always playing music. What got you? Did you join He Who? What do you shorten it to? Because I want to always say this full name. What do you call it?
Yeah, I was gonna like text you and go, can you bleep stuff out? Because I'm probably gonna say his name on accident. We gotta like keep kayfabe going. You know
Yeah,
what I
no
mean?
problem,
I
bro.
haven't.
Yeah,
I gotta pretend he's like not a real person.
yeah.
Um, well, Ventura. To answer your question originally, it was just like organic, dude. I was in high school. I
Hmm.
played bass. I started playing with. Remember Ian Crawford and Tony McDonald?
Yeah.
Remember those guys?
Oh
I
yeah.
was in a band called Killfather with them
Hmm.
when I was like 14. And then I started playing with this guy, Jeff Ludis, this guy, Nick Claybaum, who I don't know if they even went on to play in any other bands. We just went to Buena together and we were covering like Jawbreaker and I don't know, but he liked Face to Face a lot. It was like all that like early 90s
Right.
kind of melodic stuff. And I was more into like aggressive, kind of angry shit, but I was just stoked to like play, you know, like they
Right.
were both better than me. So I kind of learned how to play by like jamming in the bedroom.
Hmm.
Uh, I think we played like 2 shows. We played at like Day Road Cafe once.
Uh huh.
My mom came. It was kind of weird. And then at that point, I started going to shows. I started going to like Mogs and the Mayfair and all that.
Hmm.
And then it just, yeah, this is what I want to do for sure. I mean, I saw so many bands. Arch Enemy, I used to like a lot.
Hmm.
And then Coat Hanger Kids put like a flyer up at Record Outlet, and I answered it. And they were like, we like Bikini Kill and the Misfits. Like, sure.
Fuck yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I don't know you people. And then they were in Oxnard. So then I started going to Oxnard, and that's when I found out about like, oh shit, all these bands are in Oxnard. So like I went to Skate Palace, and I went to like, with Tony Lopez and
Yeah.
the Rhodes Brothers and shit. And then it's just, one band breaks up, and you join another one, and then
Start
that
another
one
one.
breaks up.
So
Yeah.
I have a vague memory of you in a band,
Oh no.
and it was at like a VFW hall, right?
Oh, and I fought that dude.
Yeah, right. There was like some
Hell
crazy
yeah.
chaos that went on. What band was that? It was with Clayton, or who the fuck
That
was
was
in that?
that was the Pretty Uglies, and that was
Pretty
me.
Uglies. That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jonah from Fixated and Arch Enemy.
Right.
Play guitar.
Okay.
And then
okay.
this guy Rex, who was like older than all of us, and like Jonah and Jason Lurie, who he played in a bunch of other bands too. They knew him, and he was some LA guy, like some cock rocker guy that moved at Ventura to try to put a band together. And they're like, we know this like punk guy, Bobby, that should play bass. So I came in, and they were just like AC/DC played at like Motorhead speed.
Right. Yeah. So
and,
I remember.
And I was like, oh.
Do you remember the show I'm talking about?
Oh fuck yeah! So
you I'll
tell you.
Because I remember being in the crowd watching and going like, "Oh shit!" But
I tried to light him on fire. I tried to light him on fire. Yeah. So I used to I liked Nashville Pussy a lot at the time, and I saw Nashville Pussy play at the Underground in Santa Barbara, and ended up like hanging out with him afterward.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey, the bass player, used to spit fire. And I was like, what do you use to spit fire? Because she'd drink it out of a beer bottle, and then she'd spit fire. And she's like, it's a tiki torch oil.
Right. Like lamp oil or something.
Yeah, but it's the paraffin. Don't get the colored, like, anti-mosquito kind. It's just the clear, whatever, paraffin tiki torch oil. So I think it was at, like, fucking Bubba's down on Thompson or something. One day I just, like, I didn't tell anyone I was going to do it. I just duct taped a drumstick to my headstock and wrapped a rag around it, and lit it on fire and blew this fireball inside Bubba's, and like Bubba's had this metal ceiling, and it hit it and just went like everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that was easy. Like
bars love that, by the way. Definitely do that at bars.
We played Bubba's 100 fucking times because people like the fire and shit. So like we pack it out and we get paid. So anyway, we went to it was the women's club, the Ohio Women's Center.
No, this was in Ventura off Market. It was like a fucking.
You're right.
It
was VFW.
It was a VFW of some sort.
And
it was like, I'm pretty sure it was the only show they did because of this. The incident that went down, dude.
Sorry,
well, fuck it. I mean, I remember there being a couple maybe, but I want to say that about ended it. You know.
How come there's no Ollie just shows in Ventura? Because fucking Bobby, goddamn Wilcox.
Yeah.
So what happened was I don't think knowing me in 2001 or whatever, I'm sure I didn't ask anybody. I'm sure I just was I'm gonna do what I do.
Yeah.
And so the stage was pretty high. I had just played Nickelby's and lit the ceiling on fire at Nickelby's on accident. So I knew, like, okay, if it's gonna be big, Bubba's has a metal ceiling. Not every bar is gonna have a metal ceiling. I gotta learn how to do this. So I jumped off the stage onto the floor.
Right.
And I lit the end of my guitar on fire, and I was playing on the floor, and it was a part of this one song. It was like when I did it. And I had enough usually in my mouth to do big ones. So I did it, and this guy comes over from the side and like pushes me. And I have a chipmunk shaped lighter lamp oil. My guitar is flaming, going.
Yeah.
And I kept pushing him away. And I felt like he rang my bell, like he hit me, he punched me.
Yeah,
I kind of felt something on my head, and I faced him, and I went, and I blew it. And I remember from the knees up, he was fired, right?
Yeah, dude, yeah. Yep.
And as it came out, I'm like, fuck, like this is not a good idea, but
it's gonna be a problem.
Too late. And he was like going like this, and he wasn't on fire, like it didn't stick to him.
Yeah.
And then I took off my guitar and I tackled him and started punching him. And someone held him back. And while they're holding him, I'm still punching him like a chicken shit, just being stupid. And then it was over.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, he wants to talk to you outside. He wants to talk to you outside." So I took a couple of beer bottles and I put them in my pocket. And I went outside ready to just smash him. And he's like, "Hey, this is my grandma or my grandpa. Somebody runs this club, and you're disrespecting me by like doing this fire shit." I'm like, "You fucking booked us, dude. The only reason people like this fucking band is to spit fire. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest." Which was a mean thing to say for my bandmates, but it was mostly true, right?
Right.
Um, "Oh, you didn't know?" And he's like, "I didn't know. I didn't book the show." And I'm like, "Well, fucking, I'm sorry. Did anybody get hurt other than you almost? Like,
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing, dude. I wasn't gonna light your fucking venue on fire."
Yeah. Until I was
And
going to light
then,
you on fire.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened after that, but that was the story. Was he felt extremely disrespected because that was my grandmama's venue. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well,
But
I
I didn't
remember.
know
I
that.
remember. I was a kid. I was all of 15, maybe 16,
Oh,
maybe.
really?
Yeah. You know
I'm
what I mean?
sorry.
I mean, it wasn't my first show. It wasn't my first thing I've seen, but it was definitely the first time I saw someone blow a fireball into a person, You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
and then watch a huge fight go down. And I remember the funniest part was watching someone, I don't know who it was, grabs Clayton. I think it was Clayton, right? Yeah, grabbed him
oh, Clayton went and kicked the guy in the fucking teeth or
right,
something.
yeah, and then someone grabbed him and slung him across the fucking floor, and it about knocked him out because he's all of 5 pounds. You know what I mean? I just remember standing there going like, "Ooh, this is cool."
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I
dude,
like Clayton.
yeah.
I would have got active for that for
Well,
sure.
you were busy. I mean, you were busy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
To
yeah, I
my
remember.
memory, I always wondered if my imagination was like getting away with me. Because I remember in my mind this fireball like these two legs.
Hmm.
I
Oh
remember.
no, it was right at him. It was right at him. I thought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as far as what I remember, I mean, I remember going, "Oh shit!" It wasn't until I saw Dillinger Escape Plan many years later that they were blowing fireballs into the crowd at the living
Yeah.
room. You know what I mean? I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is crazy, dude."
Yeah.
But then their music, really, it was on the Calculating Infinity tour, and it was like their first, holy shit, dude, that was
Hell yeah.
wild, But that
That band's
you
next
were my
level.
first, fireball, dude. So that's cool,
Oh.
Besides watching hippies fucking do it.
I blew Alpine back when they had the shows upstairs. I walked outside onto the balcony and I blew it
Uh huh.
over the half pipe.
Yeah.
And apparently all the oil landed on the half pipe, and some kid like broke his arm.
Oh no.
It was all slippery, and I found out about it like a week later, and I felt so
Right.
fucking terrible. Like I was
Yeah.
never trying to hurt anybody except that one guy, you know?
Yeah. Well, Ventura's got a fucking long history of wild fucking shows, dude. I mean, I've been to and caused a few of them. You know what I mean? We ripped apart. It was the American Legion at the time, or it was Take Two, and it was the last show. It was Wrath's one of the.
I was there,
Oh,
and we
boy. That's
played the
right.
night before, or we played that night
After.
maybe.
Was it that? Well, I don't know. Can't remember. But remember that fucking place got ripped. We got through 2.5 songs, and it was
I
like
remember
people were ripping down the
uh,
shingles. And
yeah, and guitars were going into the shingles and stuff. I think
yeah.
we might have played the night before
Well,
because
there
we
was a
weren't part of
show
the
the night.
destruction.
There was a show the night after there, I think, too. So I don't know what it was, but I remember all night people were because they knew it was closing, and people were like, "We're gonna rip this place apart, right?" And I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm playing. Like, I'm not gonna be ripping anything apart. I'll provide the soundtrack. I'm not condoning or condemning or
I'm gonna rip your fucking ears apart.
yeah, but it was like we got through 2 fucking songs, and they pulled their zip, pulled the plug, and I just started packing shit up, dude. I was like, all right, we're out of here because it looked like a fucking war zone all of a sudden, But
I remember.
mean, there was another time where there was a show. Remember, they used to do shows at South Coast Fellowship. I don't. You may have been gone, right? Or I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But Papa Ray played with his band. I think it was Shot in the Face.
It was in coma, and he brought like the pig head and shit there, right?
And
Yeah.
he's on acid, naked in a
Yeah.
church. You're like, oh shit, Ventura gets wild, man. It's.
I was in that band. I was in coma.
Oh, you were?
Right after that. We had for like a few months, like rehearsals, and then we had one show at Skate Street, and I showed up, and I'm friends with everybody now, so it doesn't matter who, but a couple of the dudes were so fucking leveled on like pills and shit
Oh yeah.
that I was like, I'm not playing fucking death metal when you guys are like this. Like, that's embarrassing. Fuck no.
Yeah.
So I just left. I just went home.
Oh, you did? You bailed?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to
Kind of
be.
addictive.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
well. I mean, if you know what it's going to be, dude. You know what I mean? What are you supposed to do? I mean,
And everybody's doing much better these days. I'll say that.
yeah.
Disclaimer.
The
Yeah.
guys from the band now seem to be doing just fine. But, and I
Right.
don't know. I know Ray lives somewhere on the East Coast, but he's obviously a talented painter. You know, I see him posting shit all the time.
Yeah, you can paint Eddie like a motherfucker, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, Ventura has such a weird history of like crazy fucking shows. I remember when I was involved in the church, they were doing shows at Horizon Generation, and they were starting to do like secular bands, you know, they called it, with like the Christian bands that I was in, and we were bringing people in, and some fucking girl booked Bad Luck 13. And I was all, oh no, like, and they had no idea what was coming, you know, and honestly, I should have never said anything, but I had to tell somebody, like, they're gonna destroy this place. You know,
That's what they do.
as soon as they find out it's a church, it's fucking gone. You know, so I ended up like, me or a couple other people were like, hey, dude, do you know who that band is? And they're like, oh yeah, well, we heard they're pretty wild. And I was like, it's another level, dude. Like, you know what I mean? So they ended up canceling the show on them, you know, and I was like, hindsight 2020, it would have been a pretty awesome fucking show. But, you know, I mean, is having, you know, been away from religion for so long, you know, I don't want to see anyone's place get completely destroyed anymore. You know? They were so like, dude, we booked this Bad Luck 13. I'm like, ooh, that's going to be bad, dude. There's no amount of Jesus. No amount of Jesus is going to stop that destruction, dude.
They show up with a van full of fucking light bulbs and barbed wire and shit.
That was like a WWE fucking.
Yeah, it's like deathmatch.
It was, right? Yeah, it was crazy, dude. But
and I know I'm definitely anti-religious, but I'm also anti doing mean shit to people for no reason.
Yeah,
including a church, you know.
Yeah, it takes a long time, you know. When you're a punk, and you know what I mean, it's just. You're like, I want to see the fucking world on fire. You know what I mean? Like, and then I actually watched Ventura catch on fire, and I was like, I'm not sure I like this. You know?
Yeah,
like, damn, bro, that was wild. You know?
I watched it from a distance. It was scary.
Watch it from the Oakland.
I mean, I don't know. Those hills have caught on fire once every 5 years at least since I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was a different level, dude. It was.
Because that was actually downtown, and yeah.
And I was actually working in Carpinteria too, and living in Ojai. So we escaped from our house, and then I'm running a massive job in Carpinteria. So now I have to escape from my house and then run to Carpinteria with everything on fire, and I'm wetting down bridges that are about to be poured. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God, this is insane. You know? And like I said, I've been a child of the apocalypse my whole life. I've been ready for it,
right.
Born for it, and then I saw it happen, and I was like, this isn't so fun, man. This isn't.
It ain't so dreamy after all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so fun. Zombies, I'm okay, but yeah, just burning everything to the ground. I was like, oh fuck, it's crazy.
See, and that's what the Pretty Uglies did, is we tapped into that fear. You know what I mean? No one likes fire.
Yeah, it's caveman shit. You know what I mean?
Did I make you stop going to church?
No.
Was that my fault?
No, pussy made me stop going to church, dude.
Like everybody.
Yeah. Yep. You know, I had someone ask me like a while ago, like, oh, why did you walk away? And I was like, you know, I have all these delicate answers and real things. Obviously, you know, shit doesn't make sense, but if you really just boil it down, it's pussy. You know,
that's such a good answer, dude.
As soon as you come, you're like, this doesn't work anymore. You don't want us to do this. Like, what the fuck, man? You know? You're
like, I didn't think about Jesus once in the last 3.5 minutes. You're right.
Not once. Not only that, I didn't care what happened. I didn't care what happened after. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm just hungry. That's all I know.
Yeah, it was just pussy. That was it. You know,
that's
there's
awesome,
a million
dude.
other reasons, I'm sure, but really, you can boil
Let's
it down
break it down.
one word. One fucking simple, easy to understand word. That was it, dude. So what made you move to Oakland? Is it the band, or I mean, you were getting the fuck out of here? There's always an urge to want to leave Ventura for everyone. Everyone's like, I'm ready to get the fuck out of this town. And then eventually people end up moving back, but you seem to have broke the mold. So congratulations.
Thanks. No, I love Ventura, and I have like a connection to it for sure. And I I was in the sign business for a really long time. So I walk around downtown and I see shit I made, like the big blue ugly Ventura sign off the freeway. I made that. Like I painted that shit. Like
right.
I look around and I've kind of left my mark everywhere. I look at any corner downtown and I have mostly good memories from. No, I love it. I just I was coming up in high school. I was coming up to Gilman to go to shows with a couple friends, and always loved like the East Bay punk scene was a lot like the living room. It was like the same, like the living room was like our Gilman kind of, right?
Right, right.
So it just felt more like, probably because I wasn't from here, it felt more like a little cooler, like a little
Yeah.
more established, like a little deeper. And who's to say if it actually was? I mean, people could have said that about the living room if they just came in from out of town, but I liked the vibe. I liked every band. Every band was fucking good that I got
Right.
to see. And then Coherent Kids did a little, like, I guess you call it a tour. Sure, it was like a week going up California and then back down. And when we went to the Bay Area, whether it was like Cupertino or Oakland or San Francisco or Berkeley, wherever we played, just the people were so fucking rad. The bands were all so good. There's just some spirit here that like I just knew like someday I'll wind up there.
Yeah.
And then I was 2010. I got married, and my wife wasn't from Ventura, and she didn't like the fact like it's a small town, dude. I lived there for 35 years or whatever.
Right.
She didn't know anybody. It was just awkward. And I'm like, well, I'm ready to fucking bail if you're not comfortable, because
Yeah.
there's like ex-girlfriends and drama and
Oh yeah.
stories, and you know what I mean, just deep roots.
Every restaurant you go to, you're all, this might not be a great experience here. Yeah.
Whatever, dude. So
Yeah.
many things, you know. Um, so Oakland was the one place where I was like, well, I've always wanted to move to Oakland. It's like, I love Oakland, so we moved to Oakland.
Hmm.
I've stayed here since. I came up here and joined a band within like 2 weeks of being here. Um, Played with them for 4 or 5 years. Got like solid into my career here, and just
Hmm.
put down roots, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, it seems to have
Love
worked
it.
out for you. So how did you get involved in playing with He Who Cannot Be Named? I mean, how did that come about? Just being up there? I mean, we know he's a mystery. We know all these things.
Yeah,
You know,
he's died multiple times.
yeah, he's died, he's come
He's,
back, you know, all these
he's
things.
not
So
even human.
yeah, is he? You know what I mean? But how did that all come about?
I actually, it was his wife who. Sorry, I have a cat who's destroying
Good.
kids' drawings to my feet. Um,
Nice.
you know how it goes. See, look at that. How sad, right? I have to break that news to my daughter.
Yeah.
Um, his wife was in the like Turbo Negro fan club, the Turbo Yugen,
Okay.
and I started the chapter in Oakland when I moved up,
Oh, okay.
and so she hit me up about some like something related, like joining or patches or some bullshit. I don't remember what it was. And I ended up meeting her for like tacos in Alameda to talk about it. And I knew that she was he whose wife.
Hmm.
And I've been going to dwarf shows since I lived in Ventura. You know, I've been going to
Right.
dwarf shows
Yeah.
since the '90s, like mid '90s. Um, so I go to this taco place, and she's with this guy, and he's like wearing glasses, and he kind of has that like gangly sort of. Like if you've seen the dwarves, you know what I'm talking
Oh
about. He
yeah, yeah,
has
for
this like
sure.
way of like behaving. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucking Hihu. He's like, oh hi, nice to meet you. I'm whatever.
Hmm.
Joseph. We'll make up a name.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, big fan, dude. Like, nice to meet you. And while we're eating tacos, his wife and I don't really even talk to each other. It's just me and Hihu, and we're just going back and forth.
Right.
And I said, yeah, I know Vlad, this dwarf singer, and I know at the time this guy Chris Fields was playing with them from San Diego. I knew Chris. Small world kind of talk, you know.
Yeah, it is.
And he said he has like a solo band, and I was like, oh, I've seen that record. I thought it was just like Dwarves members playing on it. And he goes, well, on the record it is, but I have like a band, like I play shows and stuff. So I said, well, fuck, if you ever need a bass player, like I'm
Yeah.
here, you know,
Let me just
I'm in a
throw
band,
that
but
name in the hat, you know.
yeah, totally. And it was like, I don't know, 6 hours later, I got an email with like a set list and like I checked out your bands, like you're really good, like want to be in my band? Here's the set list. And I like walked in circles around my house, like, holy shit, what the fuck, holy shit. And then that was like it, dude. I just came in and just brought in what I bring in, just played real hard and fast and
Hmm.
yelled louder than the last guy and played better than the last guy. And
Yeah.
here I am. you know.
I
And
mean,
then since then, I developed like now I like work for the Dwarves, and I have like a Dwarf set that I know in case because Nick's fucking feral, you know. So if Nick
mhm.
for whatever reason doesn't show up to a show, then like I'm a Dwarves stand-in too. So
Yeah.
it all just kind of like happened, like it just fell into place.
Yeah, it's a trip when you meet, people that you admire. And that was the cool thing about punk rock is that you could meet them and you know what I mean? It wasn't the guy hanging out behind the backstage, not fucking doing nothing, you know what I mean? And
Right.
when you meet them, it's like you always want, you always got to be careful meeting your heroes, you know what I mean? It's you cannot,
Yeah.
but I don't know what he's like. I don't know anything. I'm really not interested or invested in it, but it's got to be a trip, right? Did the
Yeah.
allure wear off pretty quick, or is it still pretty weird?
No, he's one of my best friends, dude. He's one of the smartest, um, most like fascinating human beings I've ever met. I mean, we toured Spain, and the whole flight over, he read like a book on totalitarianism. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the naked guy from the Dwarves is like a fucking genius.
big
So,
reader. He's a big reader.
dude, big reader, yeah, big reader. So he just recently got rid of his flip phone, which is fucking rad, classic. What you'd
Nice.
expect.
Yeah.
So remember, you know Craig McCracken, right?
Oh
Stacey
yeah.
Brandt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know Craig.
So me and Craig and Stacey were in Thick River Bottom together
Mhm.
for years. And we were all big Dwarves fans. I don't know if Craig was there or not. I think for sure it was Stacey. We went to the Troubadour to watch the Dwarves play in like '99 or something. And we were a little early, and we're at the bar in the back of the Troubadour.
Mhm.
And this dude comes walking in, like long hair, skinny, all fucking weird. Same thing, kind of crab walking around, all like those tweaker arms, like the
Mhm.
fucking.
For sure,
And
man.
I think that's Kihu right there with no mask on. And Stacy's like, that's gotta be. So he's kind of like looking around like this, and he walks up to us. He's like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, hey, are you Kihu? And he's like, yes, names. And he says his name and shakes her hand, and we're like, oh shit, he said his name. And he goes, you guys get any crack?
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
no. And he's like, it's my birthday. And I was like, happy birthday. And I said, I think I know like a meth guy that might be coming, but I can ask him. He goes, I don't want meth. I want crack. Okay, thanks. And he walked away. And that's actually when I met him the first time.
Okay.
And I tell him that story now, and he doesn't even remember it. He's been sober for fucking 15 years,
Oh, really? Okay.
like
Yeah.
program sober. Yeah, like sober.
Yeah.
So I tell him those stories. He's just like, yeah, sounds like me. So to know that, and Blags told me like, yeah, I've rescued him from like he was living with a crack whore under a bridge for like 3 weeks in San Francisco, and I found him and had to drag him back to my house. And so to know that that was him, like that image, the old Blood Guts and Pussy Dwarves image is fucking real. Like
Yeah.
that's not a work, right?
Yeah,
To know that,
you can't not live that life, right? I mean,
no,
I just don't think you can not live it. You have, especially that band. I mean, the band's nuts. The album covers are nuts. The songs are nuts. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's all real, dude. It's all real. But now they're all like 50 something, 60 something, like kinder, gentler dwarves. They still put on a good show, but like to be friends with that guy now and just to see like where he's come as a human being.
right.
Yet for like 35, 45 minutes, he'll throw a mask on and take his clothes off and spaz out all weird and still be Kihu.
Yeah.
Fascinating to me. I love it. Like
Like how fast he can get there real quick. You know what I mean? It's just right under the surface, essentially.
instant,
Yeah.
instant.
Yeah. It's
And,
amazing.
I'll watch him get like aggressive, like hit people in the crowd and talk a bunch of shit. And like off stage, the dude is like, he doesn't even cuss. You know what I mean? He's like
Yeah.
this kind, like weird, awkward old guy.
That's a trip, dude. Yeah. I mean, it's, we all have a deep well of anger we can access pretty quick, I think. I mean, especially being
Yeah.
involved. There's a reason we're attracted to punk and metal is, you're an
Yes.
angry fucking kid, most likely. You know what I mean? Whatever
For whatever reason. Yeah.
whatever shit you go through, but it's a trip,
Not
man.
well adjusted, for sure.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see that people can grow and change. I mean,
Yeah. I like to think that I'm definitely like, I mean, I don't regret anything, and I don't like I hear the story about the VFW hall, and like I don't really feel bad, but I'm glad I'm not that guy now.
well,
Like
it's a short lifespan to be that guy. It's a real short
It's
lifespan.
not,
You know what I mean? Like you
it's,
can't.
it's not sustainable.
You know, you could do what he did and fuck off for 20, 30 years, but it's gonna fucking kill you. You know, eventually. You know, and that's what I've had.
Yeah.
To, I've had to learn. You know, I got a deep well of anger I could access at any moment, at any point of the day, and be fucking. And it wouldn't seem to run out. You know what I mean? But you can't. What are you gonna live your life like that, dude? Like, there's just no fucking way. You know, you got to find.
Did your kids change that perspective for you at all?
They definitely helped. Yeah. And I deal with it every day. You know what I mean? But,
Same.
you know,
Yeah.
I cuss around my kids. I fucking probably say shit I should never say to them. You know what I mean? And they, you know, they fucking, we let them talk and we let them express their feelings. And they tell you that, you know, we've scarred them in many, many ways. You know what I mean? But I've even done stuff where I'm like, that one's going in the book. You know what I mean? That one's going in the fucking, the terror book. But I mean, being a dad, it has to change you. If it doesn't, you're a real piece of shit. I mean, I don't see how. I mean, my favorite thing on earth is the guy that's like, "Oh, my kids aren't going to change me," you know, blah 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 blah. And it's like, you're such a liar, dude. Like, or I'm never going to be the guy posting pictures of my kids, you know, or blah blah. That's such bullshit. And you're like, okay,
Well,
buddy.
fuck you. Yeah, go walk in the seas so your kids can have a cool stepdad someday.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fuck that.
I mean, it's so easy to be a piece of shit dad. I mean, it's right there all the time. But it's my mom, you know, told me, she's like, look, it's super easy to be a piece of shit. You know, we were struggling and I was fucking going through a bunch of shit when I was younger, and I was 27, had, you know, fucking a couple kids, no job to really support them. I'm on tour 3 months at a time with no money, you know what I mean? And
wow.
You know, and it's just like, fuck, man, you know. And then you look at, you know, possibly giving up the thing that you absolutely love, you know what I mean? Which, if you look at it like that, it's going to eat you up and it's going to make you a miserable fuck, which that's not how I looked at it, because my kids are 100%. It's not even a fucking option. You know what I mean? Like, to not provide, to not do the thing for them. But as far as like, I just don't see how it couldn't change you, you know, and if it really doesn't, then you see
don't
what
have a
that
soul,
is.
right?
I mean, you just don't, you know, there's just no excuse for it. You know what I mean? At all. I mean,
Yeah, and like, I feel like same as you. Like, I don't put that all on Birdie. Like, she's definitely checked me every minute of the day, whether she realizes it or not. Because I'm like you. Like, I always have that shit stewing under me. Everything fucking annoys me. I'm so fucking irritable. I mean, people eat with their mouth open the wrong way. I get fucking annoyed. People crack their knuckles. I get annoyed. Like, I'm very like just shitty that way. But like, I've learned to be, and I heard Scheimer mention this on your guys' last podcast. It's so true. Being grateful just is in the front of my mind all the time.
Yeah.
So the minute any of that shit wells up, I go, fuck, there's a lot more to be grateful for than there is to be like annoyed at or aggravated at, you know?
Right.
And I grew up like my mom was like a yeller, door slammer, one of those like, I won't fucking do it, dude. I just can't do it. And like Lindsay, like sometimes it'll well up and I'll be like, because kids can be little shits. Like fucking, they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
And I'll like bark. You know what I mean? I won't say hurtful things, but I'll say things in like a short, like kind of way. And Lindsay will kind of look at me like, yeah, you're right.
Sorry, honey. Yeah, no, I mean.
No, but I say thank you because I look at this like adorable little like sweetheart, pure little girl. Like, it just feels shitty. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, to make your kids
immediately.
You know, it just I've had points. You know, my daughter's a teenager, and she pushes those buttons. And I grew up with 3 sisters. You know what I mean? I know what's coming. It's not nothing's a fucking surprise. But I mean, I always joke that she's going to be an incredible ex-wife. You know what I mean? But you know, it's like, because she is a savage. I mean, she really is. You know, but you know, I fucking a handful of months, maybe a year ago. You know, we got into this major fucking fight, and you know, she tried to walk away from me, and I grabbed her arm because I wasn't done talking to her. You know what I mean? And she's just giving me the eyes, and I'm not gonna hit her. I'm not gonna, you know. But like that fucking move alone scared me, and it scared her, scared the shit out of her. You know what I mean? And all I did was grab her sleeve and like fucking pull her in front of me.
But that vibe came through the physical contact.
Oh, dude, and it really it fucking put me in a place where I was like, I don't ever want to be that dude. Like, you know, and you know, we all try. I mean, as long as you're fucking trying. I mean, it's just so fucking hard, man. Like, you know, those, I remember at one point calling my mom, just being like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Like for being, you know, and I was a good kid. I was a great kid. Like, but I'm also still sorry. You know, like,
Yeah, my dad passed away before my daughter was born, and I
it's
have
too
moments
bad.
now. I know, but
Yeah.
I have moments where I like, yeah, I just want to call him and be like, 'cause I know I was a fucking piece of shit to deal with as a kid. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember, I mean, I don't remember a lot from my childhood, but
Yeah.
I I know how I was as a teenager, and I really remember how I was like in my like early 20s
Mm-hmm.
around Ventura, like as most people will like attest to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was not a good person to be around. I was like aggro and like negative, and like
Mm-hmm.
I just shit on everything,
Mm-hmm.
like everything.
Yeah.
Um, to the point where like I remember Tony Lopez once, I was maybe like 21, like young. I remember him having a talk with me, like, dude, we can't hang anymore. Like, I can't really be your friend anymore because you're so fucking negative
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, no, I'm not. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I am. And I'll never forget that conversation, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Because,
that's a good friend, man. I mean, I've been the
yeah,
guy. I've done that to people. You know what I mean? I remember at a point when you're in that like 16 to 18, 20 years old, it's just there's no way to not be a negative motherfucker because you're
uh,
rejecting everything you've ever learned and you're going to figure it out. You know what I mean? But, you know, when
and I
you,
moved out when I was like 17. So I had this
right.
chip on my shoulder at like 17. Like, I was just like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
everybody,
But
you know?
I
Yeah.
mean, what it does, you know, and yeah, especially being fatherhood, and it's something that you know, when I sent you those questions, you know, you brought up something that's like such a valuable point is like understanding your value. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
As far as like DIY culture and all this stuff, and it translates
mm-hmm,
into everything. I mean, it took me
mm-hmm.
many, many, many years to understand my value. You know, and
Same.
being, you know, it was after 100 bands and 100 fucking failed relationships and a, you know,
Mm-hmm,
becoming a father and realizing that I have to work my ass off to get what I want. No, there's no fucking shortcuts. You know what I mean?
yep.
At that point, it made me realize that like I have to really understand my actual value in this world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And figure out how to make it work for me and not be a miserable fuck. You know what I mean?
You know what did it for me? I mean, I never thought about it till you started talking, but like, I think that change for me really came around the time when like my job, I started getting really good at my job, and I stayed in the same field, and then I moved up here and was in like upper management at these companies,
Mm-hmm.
like running shops full of people. Like I got the jobs when I moved up here by fucking bullshitting and faking it till I made it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
told people I was production manager at Dave Steins. At Dave Steins, it was me and fucking Dave.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
I said that, and they're like, "Oh, do you
But
know how
you
to do
kind of
this?"
were. I mean, but you kind of were. I mean, you know,
It was, you know what I mean? It
when
was
it's
just,
two guys. But yeah, that's the punk
but
rock
that, but
spirit, though. You know what I mean?
I was like, "Fuck, I could do this shit." So then I did it, and
Mm-hmm.
then that company folded, and I went to another company
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Oh, I was making 15 grand a year more than I actually was making," and they gave me that salary,
Mm-hmm.
gave me that position, and I
Mm-hmm.
succeeded at it. And then
Right.
and then on, and I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, I'm good at this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and this is because it's not because I'm hustling people and like faking it.
No.
Like, I'm actually like teaching myself these skills and putting in the work ethic. I'm waking up at 3 in the morning to get to work by 5 in the morning, which you know all about.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
when you have that regiment for 5 and 10 years and that like discipline, it just changes your like I can't imagine sleeping until noon now. I just
I know. Isn't it insane?
not judging anybody that can, but like my whole
I
mind just
am.
kind of got
I'm judging him.
rewired.
I'm judging him. I'm judging him.
Fuck those
You're
lazy
get
motherfuckers.
up, dude.
Yeah.
Get the fuck up. Get up, dude. Do something. You lazy fuck. You
But
know?
you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
start rewiring your brain, and like it's all the cliches we're told as a kid about responsibility and
Mm-hmm.
work ethic and all that shit. You like as a punk just go fuck your work ethic, fuck your
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
No, it's all
It
true.
is true,
Like
man.
dad was right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
but I mean, you're right. You know, understanding your value in this place, and you know, and I know you do a new job now, right? You work with like
Mhm.
THC and what you're doing, something like that. So I mean, but
Randomly in
all
the
that,
weed business, yeah.
right? Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah.
but that shit, it's so weird how that shit translates. Just you know, you build in that work ethic. You build in not only that, the you know the way to uh, the way you manage yourself as a person, especially when you're the guy that's like me, gone on tour, ate shit, fucking struggled, understands how what it really takes to do things. you know, those things become so important. And then when you understand your actual value, you know, there's literally almost no limit. You know what I mean? You can take it to anywhere you go, you know. Yes,
Right.
you have to do the work. Yes, you have to fucking perform. But you have a good base, a good starting point, you know?
Well, I also like, and again, these are things I've never really thought about till this conversation. But like, if I'm being honest with myself, whoever's listening, like, there was a string of friends, band members, girlfriends, whoever, that I kind of like walked across to get to where I needed to be, like financially or like whatever, like kind of a shithead sort of behavior. Like I kind of just like got what I could get from where I could get it just to come up, and like it was like hustle life, you know what I mean? And
Right.
I shit on a lot of people to like get what I wanted. And now everything I have is because I did it. Like I did.
Right.
I worked for it.
Well,
I apply like I shed that behavior to like well, you know, and then there's no self worth. I mean, I was a cocky motherfucker. That's a lot different than being actually confident and like knowing your worth.
yes,
You know,
big difference. Yeah,
because
the
now
the appearance of competency is a big difference than being competent. You know what I mean? For sure.
yeah, dude. So now like I feel like uh totally self confident, totally like proud of where I'm at in life, all that, and I don't think I have that arrogant bullshit cocky streak I had when I was in my 20s, like at all.
Well, because it's
Like
based in fear. You know what I mean? Most of that shit,
100%.
it's
For
based in
sure.
fear or your self value. You know, like in
Yeah.
my industry, the guy that tells me how good he is and how much experience he has and fucking what a bad motherfucker he is, oftentimes is the worst one on the job.
He's got a Harley at home and fucking blah blah blah.
Whatever it is, dude. Like it's the guy that fucking comes in, has a good attitude, does his fucking job, performs, doesn't fucking need an attaboy. You know what I mean? Like those are the guys that make it, you know. And I think a lot of that braggadocious behavior we all have back in the day, you know, it's all based in lack of confidence, lack of, you know, and
validation
it's something.
and, yeah.
And some guys should never fucking find it, dude. Like, you know, but I think being a musician, you know, it's a life of no all the time. I mean, how many times are you fucking I was rejected all the time by labels, by fucking band promoters, by bands, by bandmates, by fucking.
I didn't even
You know,
ask, dude. I
it's
never even bothered submitting shit because I
Right.
just knew, like, nah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wanna
but
deal
I
with the
mean, a
rejection.
more confident person, a more confident you now would fucking throw it out there and be like, hey, if it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't.
Well, yeah. Hey,
You know,
let me play bass for you. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. You know, so it's really it's a trip, man. I mean, that you know, and do you really feel like you stepped on people's heads, or do you feel like it was just
Yes.
You really do. Okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like I used a lot of people to get what I needed.
Mm.
Like, girlfriend paid the rent so I could go on a tour, or like left roommates hanging with bills and shit like that. So just to just stupid like little. I mean, I'm friends with these people now, and we don't talk about how I used to be. I mean, I think everyone just understands it's like 20-year-old shithead behavior, you know?
Right.
But looking back on it now, like, yeah, I was that fucking guy, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
And I knew I was at the time, but I just never really like confronted it and like dealt with it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a hard reality when you do deal with it. You know, it takes a long time to get through. You know, especially when you got, you know, it's just so it becomes so transparent after a while. You know what I mean? And people only put up with that shit for so long. You know what I mean? Before they're like, nah, dude, they're not happening no more. You know, and then also, but also that gives you the tools to prepare your kids for what they're going to encounter. They're going to encounter people like you used to be, and encounter people like me, and encounter people that will fucking take you for everything you have. You know what I mean? Just to get ahead,
yeah.
You know,
and I wasn't like just to be clear, like I wasn't like some predator like seek out.
I'm not saying you.
Yeah. But there are people out there that are like that. But I say even beware of the fucking charming bass player. You know what I mean? Beware of the guy that like, why don't you buy dinner tonight when he's got $200 in his wallet?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%.
For instance.
And also, I have the ability to smell bullshit, unlike a lot of fucking people. You know what I mean? I can
I
tell.
do now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I've seen it. I've seen it all. I've seen your kind before. I have a very, and I've always had a good bullshit meter. Not your kind, but like
What do you mean, you people?
like when you talk to someone, you're like,
I know you.
You're so full of shit, dude. Like I can't. And now I know I don't even have patience for it. I'm like, all right, bro. Nice to meet you, dude. I don't.
It takes me about 5 seconds, dude. If that, I know it instantly. Yeah.
I had a
And I
guy.
wonder if that.
I had a guy at our last show right before COVID. He was standing in front of the bar and he's fucking talking to me and he's telling me, oh man, I toured with who is he telling me? Megadeth. He's telling me he went on tour with Megadeth and all this shit and just this fucking lines of bullshit, dude. And I listened to it for about 5 minutes and he's telling a whole crowd of people. And I'm like, you're so full of shit, I can't even fucking hear it, dude. Like,
You said that?
yeah, I was like, listen, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, it's like, what, bro? I fucking did. I'm all, okay. Yeah, all right, man. Like, it's just this, dude, you're full, your leg's broken and you're standing at a bar, like, in Ventura, like, and you're wasted. Like, nah, man. Like,
You fucked up. You should have been like, well, I'm gonna text Dave. Let's do Dave. Hey, Dave. What's your name?
I couldn't fucking, I couldn't hear one more second of it without being like, you're so full of shit, dude. Like, and everyone's like, oh, like, because they just let him talk and they let him say these things and no one says it. And I'm not the guy that does that all the time. I'm not Mr. Call you out on your bullshit. Most of the time I just laugh and walk away. But I just like,
no, you're like me. Yeah, it depends. Like something about that guy hit some switch in you. You're like, this guy's gonna get it. This guy's gonna get it.
That night, dude. And then it turned into a whole thing later on. But it was like, oh my God, man. You cannot. I don't know. You surround yourself with people like that, it's all you're gonna get forever, dude. But I can spot that shit quick,
Well, and that kind of comes with like the band people territory, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had good luck, man, with being in bands with people that I respect and love, and I've never, I don't think I've ever had a band like break up badly, like but it's just not the culture. You know what I mean? Like. You hear the horror stories, but and yes, I've been a part of bands that were a fucking mess. You know what I mean, and all these things. But it just I can't imagine surrounding yourself with someone that's just full of shit all the time.
Yeah, no. The worst. I'm not here to drag anybody, but like the worst I ever had was a band I was in up here. The guy wasn't full of shit. He was just so self-absorbed.
Yeah.
It just got really fucking exhausting to be around.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So don't ever join a band. Don't ever join a band with the guy's name and the title of the band.
Okay.
I learned that lesson.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's his band.
Red flag.
It's his way or the highway, brother. You know what I mean?
Well, I heard your shit before I joined, and I hear your shit now, and I think maybe you should lean into your band a little more.
Yeah. Wow. But those. Yeah, maybe listen to, hey, what do I know? I'm the fucking bass player, dude.
I'm just a bass player. What do I know? Yeah.
That's when you get to go like, hey, man, what do I know? I play bass.
What do I know? That's why I play bass. I'm fucking.
What it is, man.
I'm a big old dummy.
Yeah, it's a trick. Man. I don't know. I'm so fortunate that and I've always wanted to be the worst player in my band too. So it's, I want to be around people. Nick Manassian, I mean, just fucking hands down. One of the more incredible fucking bass players ever, and that's why I always want to play with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've been in like 3 or 4 bands with him, right?
Yeah, well, he joined Ox at the end, and then we started the Wrath, and now we're in
the Wrath.
Yeah, but I mean, he does shit, and you're like, that's what you're doing, huh? Weird. Like, what are you even doing, man?
Now Nick's a clear, perfect example. Like Nick and I don't know each other like well. We know each other well from being in bands. Like we've played hundreds of shows together with our bands and stuff, I'm sure, in a small town. But Nick and I aren't like tight bros, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would guess that Nick probably isn't one of those guys that like took lessons and learned a bunch of theory and stuff, right?
No, but he definitely understands it. Yeah, he's figured it all out. He's the guy that can play every Beatles song on the guitar, and you're like, Jesus, really? Okay, man. Like,
but Nick's a perfect example of like he's just got soul, man. He's just fucking got it.
He's got it, man. He's just got it.
Yeah.
So what's the world looking like for you now that we're climbing out of Corona? I mean, is there tour talk? Is there shows going on in Oakland? What's going on, man?
Uh, if there's shows in Oakland, I'm not going to them. You know what I mean? I haven't like, heard about it.
Yeah.
We had UK tour end of August. We were playing Rebellion and then touring like UK, like England, Ireland, Scotland around Rebellion, and we canceled it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Rebellion's still, I think, happening, but like it was the tour around Rebellion when we started really getting a vibe for like clubs. Like there's a band called the Hit Priest out of Nottingham that I'm really good friends with. We were gonna like join up with them and backline with them and jump in the van and do the UK with them. And we're kind of following their lead, and they're like, we don't see how a punk rock show is going to be fun at 25% capacity, and
Yeah.
everyone's offering door deals and shit, and like I can't book a UK tour on door deals. Like
Man. Yeah.
I need €500, a hotel and a meal at least, like
Right. Yeah.
or a floor and a meal. Like I don't care if your fucking mom cooks the meal. Like just food, a place to sleep, and like $500.
Yeah, being stuck across the world with no guarantee of money is impossible. You know what I mean?
We won't do it. We just won't do it.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean,
been there.
It's a smart way to go.
So we canceled it because it just didn't seem. It was just too sketchy, dude. It didn't. I don't know. I don't give a fuck if Rebellion is still happening.
Right.
That's not the point. Like.
Yeah. Are you a guy that goes to punk rock bowling or any of that stuff, or?
Yeah, every year. Got married there.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about NoFX canceling because of cancel culture? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, dude? I mean,
it's like the onion's got lots of layers, right? Like,
yeah.
I speak freely on this podcast. I don't like Mike.
Okay.
I just don't like him. I don't like.
You're not the only one. A lot of people don't like the fucking guy.
I know, but I don't. It's like not like, oh, I don't like him because he made people drink his piss at South by Southwest. I think that's one of the best things he ever did. Actually, that's what I like about it.
Yeah, what's like the clown, right? Was
yeah, and he did some whatever. Yeah, YouTube it. YouTube Koki the Clown South by Southwest.
Koki the Clown. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's living up here. It's a really small circle, and lots of people have been on his label or know him, or he's lots of places all the time, and I've never had a good experience with him.
Really?
Sober or coked out, he's just kind of a fucking shit. I just don't like it.
Sure.
And then I saw him kick some kid in the face because he like hugged him, and I'm like, well, that's classic Mike. And then it's nothing fucking good, dude. Like his whole shtick is like being a fucking shithead, and I don't know, like it's like being a shithead and like not being witty about it, right? Like,
right. Well, it's exactly what we've been talking about the last fucking hour. You know what I mean? How long does that last, dude? You know what I mean? Before people are like, I'm fucking over it. You know?
Yeah, I don't care about your story. I don't care about what you've been through and why you are the way you are. It doesn't justify it to me. I think you're a shitty dude, and I'd rather not be around you, right? Yeah. So that's just how I feel about it.
Right.
So I was at Punk Rock Bowling when they played, and it was pretty weird. Were you there?
No, I've never gone.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It was weird being in that open area and like seeing the windows all around you right after that shooting happened. I mean,
man.
There was shit in the air. Like there was a vibe for sure, right? But nobody really addressed it. We were all just there, kind of powering through, including people like from Vegas in the crowd. And then NoFX comes on, and their logo, like the NoFX banner, the O was crosshair.
Oh.
And I was like, like you fucking edgelord. Like that's not even funny. Like if you're gonna be an edgelord, like be fucking funny about it. Like, like that's just kind of fucking weak, right?
Right.
And then then he said something along the line. People say it was Melvin or him. I thought it was him. Something like, "Don't worry, like you're safe. Like at least they killed country fans. Like no one cares about them. They're not going to kill you or something."
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, really, like, not even like, oh my god, like pearl clutching. Just kind of like, you're lame, dude. That's not even funny. Like this.
What a dumb, like a bad joke by a bad comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're trying to. It was a hacky way to try and shock a bunch of 40-year-old punk rockers. You know, like.
Right.
we're not shocked. We just, oh, here's Mike being a fucking shithead again. Maybe he'll blame it on being on coke again. Like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So when I saw the apology and the we're not going to do it because people are mad at us or whatever, I immediately just thought, whatever.
Yeah.
There's probably something else. There's probably another reason. Or, oh, how adorable. Like all of a sudden this dude knows how to apologize and cares about an impact he's making.
Right.
I would respect him more if he just owned his fucking shitty joke and went and played the show.
Right. Well, that's what I don't know. It's like a band who's made their career on being, shocking, essentially, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and they're always them, right? They're always no effects. But, for them to, I was like, it looks even dumber to roll it back and be like,
Yeah.
hey man, now we give a fuck. A year later after COVID,
Yes.
after everyone's fucking died around, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
Yes.
like, I don't know.
It's a
And
bitch
I'm not a
move.
No Effects fan, period. I mean, I think the music's okay. There's
Same.
about 10
Whatever.
million records I'd listen to before I got to one of theirs.
Yeah.
So it's no skin off my back, but I just thought, like, wow, what a weird. And it was like literally because people were mad at us, and it was like, I thought it was odd that, like, why wouldn't you really develop? I don't know. I guess some people just don't know how to not be shitheads. Like,
his whole shtick is, I mean, what's that? He has a line. When did punk rock become so safe? Right. That's
Right.
his whole thing. Well, you're doing it. Like you want to be edgy. You want to be dangerous. You want to be fucking Fat Mike. It's the Fat Mike show.
Yeah.
It was very on brand. You know what I mean? To like make that stupid joke.
Mm-hmm.
So why fucking roll it back now? That's a fucking bitch move. Own your shit, be that guy, and go play the show.
Yeah, if it's an option, maybe it wasn't an option for them.
Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah,
That's back to what I said, dude. I think there must have been something else because the classy way of handling it and still say no effect and keep your brand or whatever is to show up, play the show, and not fucking mention 2 years ago.
Right.
Just play it.
Right.
Now, don't make another shitty fucking joke.
Yeah.
But don't apologize either. Just come out, play a fucking good solid set, do your like stage banter, Rat Pack bullshit you guys do, and then fucking leave.
Yeah.
So Devo can play.
I mean, because you're really just giving in to that 1-2% that are screaming on the internet anyway. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's stoked. I mean, I got it. I don't know if you saw, but there was a show in Echo Park last weekend, dude, that was out of control. I mean, I don't even know who played, but shows are starting to come back, and they're not only are that they're coming back hard. Like these fucking guys had like flamethrowers in the crowd. It was under a bridge in Echo Park. Flamethrowers. They're fucking shooting fireworks. The police.
Was it Wacko? Was it that band Wacko?
I don't know who it was. Yeah, I just saw like crazy footage from it. You know what I mean? And so the police
This band
show up at the
Wacko,
top, and they're shooting rubber bullets into the crowd. And I was like, "Oh man, if this is shows, I'm good, man. Like I don't want to be there." But it may have been them. I don't know what it is.
You know who that is? They did that Denny's show that went viral, where they went to like the Denny's like a birthday party room, and they had a punk rock show, and then they like do like parking garage shows, and they're just like young kids, but their whole thing is like it's like old rave style, like word of mouth. We're gonna meet at this underpass generator and do a punk rock show.
There was no less than 600 people there, dude. I mean, no fucking less. And I mean, it ended with fireworks are going off. I saw flames in the crowd. The fucking police are shooting bullets at them.
Hell yeah!
Like, oh no, dude. Yeah.
I don't want to go, but I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, my buddy Kellen, I hit him up. He's the one that posts all the videos. I'm all, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, it was so nuts, dude. Like, he's like, I don't even know who played. I showed up. Shit was going out of control. I was like, damn, dude. Like, I just think people are going to be so goddamn wild when they come back. After being cooped up.
Yeah.
Here, like, I wonder what punk rock bowling is going to look like. I
don't know.
I want to go for this year for the first time because now I have a job that I actually can take time off and it's not going to kill anything. I'm like terrified to fucking see what the reality is going to be, when people come back.
I'm like, Lindsay wants to go real bad. I'm kind of like, I mean, yeah, I want to go, but like, I don't really like Las Vegas in the summertime. I've been a lot. I think every band that I want to see, like I've seen in a club or like I saw Devo at Punk Rock Bowling. I've seen the Bronx in situations you should see the Bronx in, not outdoors at a festival. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Lunatics, I saw at the living room. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm good, but like she wants to go, like I'm, I'm kind of open to it, but I don't know what it's gonna look like. I mean, we're vaccinated. I don't know what anyone else's stand is on that. Like we
Yeah.
kind of do the responsible thing. I mean, I don't know. I feel like going to a show is a different discussion than playing a show, right? Like
Right. Right.
playing a show, I got 6 feet built in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like close talking to drunk motherfuckers anyway, so that
Right.
works out. Like it's not so irresponsible or whatever you want to call it to play a show. I don't think, and I believe in like you, her, them, the next person can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Right.
So if someone chooses to come to my show and 200 people agree with them and choose to show up and slobber all over each other, that's on them. I
Yeah,
don't really
man.
care. And I don't feel like I'm contributing to the problem because I believe in individual choice. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to control them.
People want to fucking come out. I'm down. I got vaccinated. I'm like fucking month from my second shot. I already had it, a month ago.
Same.
And it's
Yeah.
like, and all my band's vaccinated. We're so ready, but I also don't want to show up to a fucking absolute nightmare either. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just don't know.
because-
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be responsible for anyone getting fucking fucked up and I'm not worried about the COVID. I'm worried about people just being fucking out of control. You know what I mean? Because it's those first handful of fucking shows back are going to be pretty nuts. And I have a tendency to bring that out in people anyway. Like, I don't know what it is, but they always want to jump on the stage and talk to me, and I have a real problem with it, and it's like I do, and I've talked about it. I want to remain.
Speaking my language.
Yeah, I don't know what it has to be me at some point because it's happened to me my whole life, like my whole music career. So
there's 2 other microphones up here. Why are you coming from mine?
Not only that, we have a 25-minute set, and you want to talk, like what I mean? It's like what the fuck.
Right.
Anyway, but I do want to be like grateful. I'm so excited on the prospect of playing, but I'm almost worried about how wild it's gonna get, And Ventura's got a fucking history, bro.
Have you yeah. Have you guys considered any kind of like live streaming thing or anything like that?
Oh fuck, dude. So we
Fuck
did
that,
it,
right?
No, we did it.
Oh.
And it was a disaster, dude.
Yeah, see?
So we released our record in June, right? And in accordance, we did all this press. We set up a live stream. We were gonna do a live stream a few days on the Friday or whatever day it was, a Wednesday or something. Fucking set this whole thing up, dude. And Bill Benson, do you know Bill?
Probably, but I don't know.
Dr. No Days. He's in my band now. He's a tech guy. He's like, we'll set it all up. We're going to go to Armand's studio. We're going to do it. It's going to be killer. He's got multiple cameras. This fool has a heart attack 3 days before the fucking live stream. So,
was he in Dr. No? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
What do you play in Dr. No?
Bass. Well, and one of the versions of Dr. No, the Kyle Dr. No.
After Ismail.
Yeah, and he was in Brilliant Machine. He's an old Nardcore dude.
I know that guy.
Hair, dude. Anyway,
yeah.
So
goddamn, is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's in my band now. It's all good. But this guy has a heart attack fucking 3 days before, and now I'm a moron, and I'm left to try to figure out how to use this fucking streaming system and all this. And I mean, literally as soon as we started, the stream tanks, and it's fucking. We go to Instagram Live, and it works okay after that. But it was like, what a shit show. I don't want to do it again. I think if I do it, we'll record it and release it. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea, but I'm not interested with the prospect of shows coming back. I'd rather wait another 6 months. You know what I mean? Like,
we had a couple labels ask us, like, dude, it was like last June or July, like fresh into the pandemic. Like, you guys want to do a live stream? And we're just like, not now, and probably not even a year. Like, we are not a live stream band.
Yeah, that's
dude. But we're gonna do. I don't think I can announce it, but in the next month, there's a Dwarves live stream. It's going to be one of those. So I'm working that because it's like a paid ticket kind of deal. One of those like what the Melvins were doing, like where you can like,
dude. They did like a full TV channel for like a day, right? I didn't watch it, but I wanted to.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Same. I like Nick Cave did
huge
one.
Melvins fan. Didn't watch it.
Yeah, I love you guys. I'll never support you, but I love you. I'll stream you all day.
Yeah.
Donor wish forever.
Yeah. Fuck you, Buzzo. Oh, sorry.
No, he's a lovely grumpy dude.
Yeah, I met him a couple times. He's awesome.
Fucking weird motherfucker.
Yeah.
Best laugh ever. Like
I
he's
know.
got the coolest laugh anyway.
Yeah, he does, man.
But it's gonna be like people buy a ticket, and it's at the Great American Music Hall up here, which is a rad venue,
Right.
and it's gonna be like a full stage production with like lights and multiple cameras and all that. But it's like they hired a team that's
Right.
been live streaming bands at venues for a year.
Right. Yeah.
That's gonna come out and handle it. Like the Dwarves didn't do a live stream last year because those dudes aren't going to be setting up their cell phones for like Instagram Live. Like they waited until like now there's a crew of people that like stream live bands at venues. So they hired those dudes. They're going to come and do the production, and we're just going to show up and play.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
But even that, like I don't really know the exact ins and outs of it. I don't even know if it's truly live. It might be like live, and then you can like log in and watch the recording for a month or so after you buy your ticket.
Yeah.
Or it might just be a pay to watch this recorded thing. I don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I do like the fact that people have adapted and changed and made it work and done some pretty interesting shit. You know what I mean? I love that because that is punk rock spirit. That's figuring out how to make shit work when it cannot work is killer. You know, I'm a moron, dude, and I'm mind tanked.
Yeah, I love that other people are doing it. It's just not for like me or my band, but like
right, yeah.
If it didn't if people weren't out there doing it, can you imagine? Like
yeah, man.
Yeah. But we have again, I don't know what can be announced, but we have a couple shows in late August, like last weekend of August booked.
Cool.
In Texas.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So we're flying out for a couple Texas shows, and a buddy of mine that books out there, he's a touring stand-up comic and like knows the game and everything. He's been like kind of feeling the climate out there, and he's like, I think by late August, it's gonna fucking go off.
Oh, they're wide open anyway, dude. I mean, it's like Florida over there, you know.
That's what I thought, dude. We went there to watch him do like a comedy show, like him and this guy Eddie Pepitone opened up this comedy club. They were the first show, like the first weekend back. So Lindsay and I flew out there to go support it because he hadn't done a show in a year and a half.
Yeah.
He went from being a touring comic to having to make action figures on the side to like survive, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck yeah, JT is like doing comedy again. Let's go support him. And I expected just like lawlessness. We were vaccinated, but I expected like just some bullshit. No, we had to wear masks. Tables were 6 feet apart.
Oh, really?
It was even like when the show was out, like the bar situation, people kind of like on their own just sort of migrated into little groups, separated from one another. But then you go out to 6th Street in Austin and it's fucking shit show.
It's chaos.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
No masks. It's like Isla Vista. The streets blocked off. People are puking on each other and shit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But the venues, it seems like the venues are still trying to kind of be responsible and manage stuff.
Well, that's good.
But by late August, punk rock show, I think that's all off the table.
It's going, dude. Yeah, I'm hoping August, September we can start playing again. You know, that's the hope. You know, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited.
We had the same discussion as a band too. Like, do we want to go out to Texas and do this shit? Like, well, we have 6 feet built in if it gets wild, and those people can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Right. Exactly, man. Yeah.
Whatever.
Sure. Well, dude, thanks so much for coming on the pod, man. I appreciate it. It's fucking nice to catch up with you. You know, we never really got to chat too much back in the day, but that's killer.
Yeah. We'll watch your band play all the time.
Yeah, man. I know you got a couple things. Throw out your band's tags and all that stuff.
He who cannot be named not super active on social media, but we have an Instagram and a Facebook. I'm Bobby Ramon77 on Instagram. Nothing really to plug. I mean, we were demoing a new record when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And stopped completely. Like we tried recording at home and it just lame. Like sending tracks back and forth was stupid. We just stopped. So we just it's lame. We've practiced twice in the last 2 weeks and gonna start demoing a new record, but I mean, we're in no hurry. I mean, someday soon there'll be another record. We're just kind of chilling. So nothing really to plug, dude. I'm just kind of doing my
Okay.
thing.
Well, I will say that you are one of my favorite shit posters on Facebook. So I always look forward, dude. The memes,
Well,
the fucking articles. I mean, like, I
I'm
say
banned
shit.
again.
I know. Are you really? You're always getting banned, dude. I love it.
Dude, oh man. So I'm not trying to take
You're
you
like
over, but
you're like the new Peter and the test tube baby, dude. You're fucking banned from the book.
it's so stupid, dude. Like it started back in like in the Trump days.
Yeah.
I would just get so like it's that well you're talking about, right? Like I was tapping into that. Like I had to fucking, and I've learned not to, but I had to fucking engage with every stupid motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't just scroll past. I had to like just roast the shit out of somebody or like whatever. And it was always calling a racist or a piece of shit, like a racist piece of shit.
Right.
That's all I was ever doing.
Yeah.
I called someone like a white trash motherfucker. That was the first thing, and I got 30 days for hate speech because you can't say white trash.
Oh,
It's like
really?
the word for white people. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, according to Facebook. And then I said make assassination great again about some Trump thing, and I got 90 days for that one. And then I came back, was on for like a week, and I got a notification. Oh, you're banned for 30 days because of something you said 6 months ago. I'm like, what the fuck?
Now they're on to you. Now you're in the system, dude.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah, I'm in the system.
Yeah.
So
you're like a black guy in prison right now. You're fucking done, dude. You're always done forever now.
Dude, for 13 months, I've been banned for 8 of them. So the latest one, I told someone, I said, stay in school, dummy, because he like talked some shit to me like in all consonants or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like I just had a stroke, stay in school, dummy. 30 days for bullying, for calling a guy a dummy.
That's what I'm saying, man. Now you're in the system. You got in the algorithm, dude. They're gonna
Whatever.
You got to change your name or something, you know?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck multiple. I don't care enough. Yeah, like it's not real life.
I do thoroughly enjoy it, so please keep it up. It's one of my favorites.
I'll be back. I think 18 days. I'll be back.
Hey, if you want to get into some real chaos, dude, there is a corn burrito site, dude. No, this is beautiful, dude. There is a corn burrito fan page, in Ventura, and it is chaos, dude. Because it's
did Nell start it?
No, but he's on it.
He's on it. Yeah.
It's you can only talk about corn burritos, but I'll tell you what, when someone posts something that, and for those of you who do not know, corn burritos are specific to Ventura County. It is a bean taquito with cheese and a little bit of red sauce on it, or dipped in red sauce, and that is it. That is the only way it's allowed to be. People will post like, hey, I got corn burritos over here, and everyone's like, fuck you, Donna, you're a piece of shit. Those aren't corn burritos. And it'll spawn 160 fucking comments. It is pure chaos, dude. And it's my favorite fucking Facebook page ever. It's called I Love Corn Burritos. I'm gonna send you a request, dude. You'd be great.
I'm gonna take an apple core. I'm gonna core a fucking cob of corn and jam with a hamburger meat in it and fucking post it.
You will. The amount of comments will be shocking, dude. It's so good.
So I got kicked out of that. Is it What I Love About or I'm From Ventura, California? The Facebook group.
Okay, yeah, I've seen those.
It was like real bad. It was. I got kicked out during the like taking down the Junipero Serra statue discussion.
Oh, yeah.
I said some shit. I got kicked out for some reason and shit talking someone. But in that group, the corn burrito like undercurrent was so strong, and I thought like those were not even good. Like, is Ventura really that proud of these fucking things? Like for real?
Apparently.
Yes.
Apparently, yeah. Because if you go anywhere outside of Ventura, I mean, there's some areas surrounding Ventura that do it, but no fucking way, it's not happening. I mean, fucking try to go order corn burrito in Oakland and see what happens. They're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So the taquitos is what they call them.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it's so funny, man. But thanks again, man. It was awesome to have you. You know,
a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.